Coverage you can count on continues with increasing violence in Richmond County since the beginning of this year. This comes after another deadly shooting over the weekend at 706 Lounge. News Channel 6's Mary Calkins, live outside the Richmond County Sheriff's Office tonight. Mary, I know you spoke with Sheriff Roundtree today.
That's right, Brad. And what he tells me is that this month alone, we've seen 5 homicides in Richmond County, and that is more than double a normal month's average, according to the sheriff. And he says he hears the community's frustration, and he says we have to work together as a community, work with his office in order to curb these violent crimes. Those 5 homicides include Augusta's first murder of the year, the shooting death of 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony. Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree says her murder was gang-related.
This stuff tears me up, man. God, what is wrong with us? What's wrong with us, man? Her murder was gang-related? This girl was in a gang? What are they talking about? Her murder was son-related. It was hardware-related. It was just... This stuff, oh my God. This is Augusta, Georgia. This is not like Atlanta or Miami or Houston. It's everywhere. Everywhere. And Augusta already had a bad reputation before 2020. That's getting worse. Everywhere we're at, it's the same thing. You can take a dart and put a map on a wall, tape a map to a wall, take a dart, blindfold yourself, spin around, and then throw that dart at that map. And wherever it lands, the Sun people there are doing the same thing that they're doing here in Augusta, that they're doing in New York, that they're doing in D.C., that they're doing in Jackson, Mississippi, that they're doing in Birmingham, that they're doing in Gary, Indiana. It's the same thing everywhere. And that can't be poverty or supremacy or lack of resources. That's us. That's what we do.
Those 5 homicides include Augusta's first murder of the year, the shooting death of 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony. Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree says her murder was gang-related.
It's just so senseless that she lost her life to something that just didn't make no sense.
Sheriff Richard Roundtree says most of January's homicides were drug, gang, or domestic violence related. Richmond County's latest shooting victim is 20-year-old Kevin Coatney, who was killed outside 706 Lounge in the early morning hours of Sunday. And the sheriff says he's frustrated with the lack of cooperation.
Like this last homicide that we had, this mass shooting, it qualifies as a mass shooting, where over 100 people are out in the parking lot. A car comes by and shoots 3 people, kills 1, and we've yet to have a description of a vehicle.
They don't even have a like. It's not like someone said, "Hey, man, that was Quantavious and Dariante." They can't even. What color was the car? Was it a car? Was it a van? Was it SUV? Is it a bike? Did they fly by in an air balloon? Nothing. Were they on skates? Were they on a tricycle? What happened? Forget who did it. Did the guy come in a hovercraft? Was it a pogo stick? Nothing. At a mass shooting. with 100 people outside.
Like this last homicide that we had, this mass shooting, it qualifies as a mass shooting, where over 100 people are out in the parking lot. A car comes by and shoots 3 people, kills 1, and we've yet to have a description of a vehicle. Out of 100 people who were there present, we've had not one person come forward to even tell us a description of a vehicle. Now, that is sad. That is a culture of silence that's going to lead to either more death or more destruction within our community.
The sheriff says he needs the community's help working together to send a message that it won't tolerate crime and there will be consequences when crime happens.
Oh, but they do tolerate crime. And they actively are trying to protect criminals from having any consequences when something happens.
The sheriff says he needs the community's help working together to send a message that it won't tolerate crime and there will be consequences when crime happens.
Now we're seeing that these perpetrators of these violent acts, especially these homicides, are becoming younger and younger. And unfortunately, it's starting to isolate itself into the African American community. What we're seeing now that most victims of homicides and the perpetrators of these homicides are young African American males. And that's something that really concerns us.
We spoke with the mother of Kevin Coatney, the murder victim from the 706 Lounge shooting. She echoes the sheriff's pleas about gun violence in Augusta.
This gun violence has to stop. You're hurting so many families.
Have to stop calling it gun violence. Calling it gun violence is violence. Because by calling it gun violence, you're separating it from the guys who are pulling the triggers, the guys who call themselves demons and super gremlins. The guys who smoke on their dead ops. Guys who brag about the shooting on Facebook and Twitter afterwards. Guys who rap about it in their songs and detail what happened. You're giving them an out by calling it gun violence. Which leads to more violence because they don't face any consequences. And I'm not saying this woman needs to run down to the police station or be on here saying whatever she got. She got to live down there with those people. Those people are very violent. They killed her son. They killed a little 6-year-old girl. They kill anybody. Just start by stop calling it gun violence. Let's start there.
This gun violence has to stop. You're hurting so many families.
If you have any information on the 706 Lounge shooting, you are encouraged to contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and you can remain anonymous. Now, the sheriff says that investigation is still ongoing, and all of those victims were underage, so the sheriff's office will recommend to the commission that the lounge's liquor license be suspended. Reporting live in Richmond County, Mary Calkins, WJBF News Channel 6.
During the first month of this year, the city of Augusta saw a rash of crime, including several deadly shootings. Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree talked to News Channel 6 about the violence. Here's Renetta Dubose.
This is not just a law enforcement problem. This is a community-based problem.
Not long after Augusta rang in the new year, deputies responded to several violent crimes. The first homicide was 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony, playing outside of her home on 3rd Avenue and Dogwood Terrace. Then 2 other victims, Raven Tobert and Mercedes Gibson, gunned down in their home on Hammond Avenue and Bungalow Road.
So the first 3 homicide victims of the year down there, 8-year-old girl and some teenage girls. How you sisters remain so woke and so mammy-ish, it's a testament to how mammified y'all are. That y'all can be mammies through this. Like, salute to all the mammies. Because your mammying is solid. You sisters got some solid mammying going on, man. Y'all remaining mammies and protesters and marchers and my king through this? Yikes.
The first homicide was 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony, playing outside of her home on 3rd Avenue and Dogwood Terrace. Then 2 other victims, Raven Tobert and Mercedes Gibson, gunned down in their home on Hammond Avenue and Bungalow Road. The deputy coroner confirmed 19-year-old Jondrick Oliphant was shot to death and found lying in the middle of Stone Road. And the last homicide, which included 3 others being shot, was 20-year-old Kevin Coatney. All were leaving 706 Lounge off Deansbridge Road. And knowing who those involved and impacted by the crimes are revealed something else to Sheriff Roundtree. It's generational.
Some of the same individuals that I arrested 25 years ago, the children, nieces, and nephews of those individuals are now circulating through my jail, perpetrating the same crimes that they saw their fathers, their uncles, their cousins perpetrating.
So to all you guys that want to tell me that fathers in the home will be the answer, yeah, in a perfect world. But when your fathers are deviants and degenerates, them being in the home doesn't help. So just, you guys got to think about that, man. Add that just into your equation when y'all calculate how everything would be great if the fathers was in the homes. Think about who the fathers are. And think about how great they would make the home. And be real about it, man.
But he has a message for people in Richmond County in order to continue to curb crime.
It's going to take the entire community to say, what are we doing about these individuals who go out and commit these crimes? Are we going to tolerate it, or are we going to sit in silence?
Sheriff Roundtree noted his office has a high percentage of solving violent crimes. He says since he took office 9 years ago, crime has gone down every year.